I would say this: it seems to me that capitalism is going to end the world, either through climate change, nuclear war, or some combination. I just know that this system is deadly. I have no doubt whatsoever about that.
The working class, which includes professional workers, unemployed workers, students, and soldiers, all across the world, we must unite with one another in order to get rid of capitalism, colonialism, and imperialism all across the world.
When I went to medical school at NYU, I met a student who was several years ahead of me. He started a discussion group of medical students after about 4 years of studying Marxism and various other, discussing what was going on in the world. I decided that he was correct, that it was capitalism that was behind all these problems, and I joined the Progressive Labor Party. And the other thing that happened to me coming to medical school at NYU was this absolutely shocking dichotomy between the city hospital, Bellevue, and NYU Hospital, which were allied and in which we rotated back and forth. So when I started, there were no fully trained doctors, no attendings in the emergency room. We totally untrained, ignorant people were in charge of the Bellevue emergency room. It was positively frightening and disgusting. And whereas, of course, when we went up the street to NYU, we were very gingerly. We could only, we didn't have ultimate responsibility. The thing that bothered the administration the most was we tried to unite hospital workers and nurses and doctors together in some of the same struggles at Bellevue and other places. And that was, of course, the most threatening to them. And so they really, I think, were a little bit afraid of us, which was good. Well, at the moment, I'm active in the American Public Health Association, Jewish Voice for Peace, Healthcare Workers for Palestine. Those are the main ones.
Nothing has been said that wasn't. She's so active. She never stops running to meetings and passing out literature and debating. She's very outgoing.
There are two classes of people in the world, in Marx's understanding: capitalist class and the working class, which includes professionals, everyone from professionals down to the unemployed. We're all people whose living is at the whim of capitalism, and any of us can be fired or arrested. I think capitalism is going to end or ruin the world in the coming decade sometime. And so I think the obvious conclusion is that the other half of the world, working people, should run the world. And that's what communism means. It's very hard to do. First of all, the implication is that it requires a violent revolution for the reason that those that hold power control massive amounts of arms and the army and the police, and they will fight. So you have to be prepared to fight them. And then you have to analyze how you'd actually organize society so that it comes out the way you want it to. And clearly, the Soviet Union, the Chinese, and others who've imitated them made mistakes so that it didn't come out that way. Some of the main mistakes they made were thinking that you could have a mixed economy, thinking that you could make alliances with liberals, thinking that you could allow nationalism, thinking that you could make deals with liberal capitalist countries like the United States. We would try and identify what they did wrong and try and promote the ideas of doing it differently. You have to try and ensure that leadership comes from below and that it can be easily questioned or recalled. And that's a very difficult process. It's a difficult thing to do, even in a small party.
The party isn't big enough to really make a serious ability to change things, to organize more and more people. Times are different, you know, the 60s and the 70s aren't right like what it is now. We used to be able to organize a lot of people to come to different things.
I mean, even capitalism took centuries to develop, right, into what we have today. I expect that building a communist world might take centuries to perfect itself and have to be tried more than once to come out perfectly, or to come out really well and lasting. So we have to see if we can't do it. Maybe our grandchildren.